If you've ever wondered why your partner used to want sex all the time in her 20s, and now in her 30s it feels like she's just not in the mood, this video is going to change how you understand her completely. Because what changed isn't her attraction to you, it isn't your relationship, and it isn't her hormones, despite what every men's magazine tries to tell you. What changed is how her nervous system works, and once you understand that, everything she's been trying to tell you for years will finally make sense. I'm Dr. Maya Brooks, sexual health educator and relationship specialist. Today I'm walking you through the 5 things women actually want in bed after 30, and the 5 most men get completely wrong. After 30, a woman's nervous system fundamentally changes how it processes desire. In her 20s, arousal was largely physical, driven by novelty, hormones, and dopamine. After 30, arousal becomes contextual. It requires emotional safety, mental space, and trust as the foundation. Without those, the body simply will not respond. This isn't preference, it's neurobiology. So let's start with what she actually wants first. And it's the one almost no man understands until it's explained to him directly. Before physical desire can exist, emotional safety has to be established. Not in the moment, not 5 minutes before bed. Throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the relationship. Her body is constantly running a background scan. Am I safe with this person? Am I emotionally protected? Will I be received well if I'm vulnerable? And if the answer to any of those is uncertain, her body will not open to him, no matter how attractive he is or how much she loves him. A 2022 study in the Journal of Sex Research found women over 30 rated emotional safety as the single strongest predictor of sexual desire, higher than attraction, frequency, technique, or relationship duration. Women without consistent emotional safety reported a 62% lower likelihood of initiating intimacy with their partner. This is what most men miss. They think the bedroom is where sex happens, so the bedroom is where they should focus their effort. But for a woman after 30, sex starts hours, sometimes days, before the bedroom. It starts in how he speaks to her when she's stressed, how he responds when she shares something vulnerable, whether he turns toward her or away from her in small moments. These micro-interactions are what her nervous system uses to decide whether her body is safe to open. And when those interactions feel inconsistent or dismissive, her body keeps the door closed, even when her mind says yes. Emotional safety means 3 specific things. She can be honest without being punished, she can be vulnerable without being judged, and she can fail without being criticized. When these 3 exist consistently, her nervous system shifts from defense to openness. When even one is missing, her body cannot fully relax into desire. No amount of romantic effort overrides this. Reason number 2, and this one is where most relationships quietly break down without anyone noticing. In her 20s, a woman could go from 0 to ready in minutes. Her body was working with peak hormonal availability, and her arousal response was fast, almost automatic. After 30, that timeline changes dramatically. The same touch that worked at 25 doesn't work at 35. Not because she's broken, not because she's lost her sex drive, because her nervous system now requires something her younger body didn't. A slow, gradual transition from the responsibilities of daily life into the receptive state where desire actually lives. After 30, the average woman needs 20 to 40 minutes of gradual arousal buildup to reach the same physiological state she could reach in 5 minutes during her 20s. This is not psychological. It's measurable. Vaginal blood flow, lubrication response, and clitoral sensitivity all require significantly longer warm-up time as the nervous system matures and demands more context to fully engage. Most men do not know this, and because they don't know this, they keep using the same playbook that worked when they were dating in their 20s, which is essentially brief kissing, direct touch, expectation of fast response. That playbook has now stopped working entirely, and instead of recognizing that the playbook needs to change, many men interpret her slower response as rejection or as proof that she's no longer attracted to them. Neither is true. Her body is simply asking for something her younger body didn't need to ask for: time, presence, and unhurried attention. What she actually wants is slow, non-goal-oriented physical connection that doesn't immediately escalate. Long kissing without rushing forward. skin contact that doesn't head straight to specific areas, touch that explores instead of demanding. This is how her nervous system transitions out of operational mode and into the parasympathetic state where genuine desire becomes possible. The mistake men make is treating foreplay as the appetizer before the real meal. For a woman after 30, foreplay isn't the appetizer. Foreplay is the meal. The actual sex is the dessert. And if you skip the meal and go straight for dessert, she won't be hungry. Not because she doesn't like dessert, but because her body never got the signals it needed to even know it was at the table. Most couples who report dead sex lives after 5 or 7 years are not having a chemistry problem. They're having a pacing problem. One of the most reliable findings in modern sex therapy. When men extend non-genital touch and slow buildup by just 15 minutes per encounter, women report a 73% increase in arousal intensity and a significantly higher likelihood of orgasm. 15 minutes. That's the difference between a sex life that works and one that doesn't. Reason number 3. And this is the one that, when men finally understand it, changes everything about their relationship, not just their sex life. After 30, a woman doesn't just want to be touched. She wants to be seen. And these are completely different things. Most men, when they want their partner sexually, focus on her body. They notice what she's wearing. They notice physical changes. They notice when she's looking good. This feels to them like attention, like appreciation, like effort. To her, after 30, it can feel like the opposite. It can feel like she's being evaluated as an object rather than recognized as a person. After 30, women report a fundamental shift in what makes them feel desired. In their 20s, physical attention was the primary signal of attraction. After 30, the most powerful signal becomes being seen as a full person, having their inner world noticed, their identity recognized, their thoughts heard. Physical desire follows emotional recognition, not the other way around. This is one of the deepest miscommunications in long-term heterosexual relationships, and it costs couples enormous amounts of intimacy. The man genuinely thinks he's expressing desire, telling her she looks beautiful, noticing her body, initiating physical contact. The woman receives those signals but feels something missing. She can't always articulate what's missing, and so she often says nothing, or she says something vague like, "I just don't feel connected." And the man, having tried what he thinks expresses desire, feels confused. He did the things. She still didn't respond. So he stops trying. And the cycle deepens. Being seen means 3 specific things to a woman after 30. Her partner notices what she's thinking, not just what she looks like. He asks about her inner experience, not just her external life. And he reflects back what makes her uniquely her, the qualities only he gets to see. This is the foundation that turns affection into desire. What she actually wants is to be reflected, to be known, to feel like her partner sees the specific person she is, not the role she plays, not her body, not the function she serves in his life. When a man can describe what he loves about how her mind works, what he admires about how she handles difficulty, what fascinates him about her specifically, her body responds in ways that no amount of physical attention ever could produce. Because being deeply seen is, for many women after 30, the most arousing experience available. The most desirable thing a long-term partner can do is make her feel like the most interesting person in his world. Not the most attractive, the most interesting. Attractiveness fades with familiarity. Being deeply interested in someone never stops being arousing. Men who maintain genuine curiosity about their partner's interior life have wives who maintain genuine desire for them. Reason number 4. And this one is going to flip your entire understanding of when sex actually starts. Most men think sex starts when they walk into the bedroom. For a woman after 30, sex starts at breakfast. It starts with a text at 2 p.m. It starts with a touch in the kitchen at 6 p.m. It starts with a glance across the room while she's putting away groceries. By the time you both get to the bedroom, it's already either happened or it hasn't. The bedroom is where the experience continues, not where it begins. And men who understand this have wives who want them. Men who don't understand this have wives who quietly stop wanting them. After 30, female sexual desire becomes increasingly responsive rather than spontaneous. Spontaneous desire, wanting sex for its own sake without any context, is something most women lose to varying degrees with age and long-term relationship duration. What replaces it is responsive desire, which is desire that emerges from the right cues throughout the day. No cues during the day, no desire at night. This is one of the most important pieces of research in modern sex therapy, and almost no one outside the field knows it. There's a difference between two types of desire: spontaneous and responsive. Spontaneous desire is the type Hollywood teaches you about. You see your partner, you want them, you go to bed. Responsive desire is what actually drives long-term female sexuality after 30. It doesn't appear out of nowhere. It has to be cultivated throughout the day, through small signals that build anticipation. And here's what most men miss. Anticipation is the actual fuel. Without it, even the most attractive partner doesn't generate desire on demand. What builds anticipation for a woman after 30? An unexpected text in the middle of the day that has nothing to do with logistics. A specific compliment about something she said yesterday, proving you remembered. A small touch in passing that doesn't lead to anything. Eye contact across the room. These create the slow-building current that her body needs to arrive at the bedroom already warm. The men who have great sex lives in long-term relationships after their wives turn 30 are not better in bed than other men. They are not more attractive. They do not have more money. What they have is one simple skill. They signal interest throughout the day, in small ways, without expectation. They create what therapists call a sexual climate, rather than relying on sexual events. And that sexual climate is what allows responsive desire to actually emerge in her body, naturally, without anyone having to force or schedule anything. The couples with the most consistent sex lives after 7 to 10 years together share one specific behavior pattern. The partners exchange small, non-logistical signals of interest throughout the day, averaging 4 to 6 micro-interactions daily. Couples without this pattern report 3 to 4 times less frequent intimacy. Anticipation is not a luxury. It is the engine. Reason number 5, and this is the one that no one talks about, the deepest of all 5, and the one that most quietly determines whether a woman wants her partner sexually after 30, or whether she stops wanting him without being able to explain why. After 30, most women begin to feel a slow erosion of identity that they didn't feel in their 20s. They become someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's daughter taking care of aging parents, someone's employee, manager, support system. And as those roles multiply and demand more of her, the version of her that existed before all of those roles, the woman who is just herself, just a person, just her, quietly disappears. And here's what almost no man understands. You cannot desire a role. You can only desire a person. When a woman feels reduced to her functions, wife, mother, household manager, emotional support, her libido does not gradually decline, it collapses. Research consistently shows the strongest single predictor of female sexual desire after 30 is not relationship quality or partner attraction. It is her sense of selfhood. The degree to which she still feels like a full human being separate from her roles. This is the part where men can transform their entire relationship, and most never realize it. What she wants is not for you to do more chores. She wants you to treat her, in your actual daily behavior, like a person who is more than the roles she performs for everyone else. She wants you to be curious about her ideas. She wants you to ask what she thinks, not what she has to do. She wants you to notice her as a person who has a life inside her, not just a partner who has a calendar in front of her. When she gets this, something deep in her opens. When she doesn't, something deep in her quietly closes. And that closing is what ends most marriages, slowly, over years. What this looks like in practice. He asks about her thoughts before asking about logistics. He notices when she's having a hard day in her own life, separate from family responsibilities. He encourages her interests that have nothing to do with him or the kids. He treats her as if she's still becoming someone, not someone who's already fully defined by her current roles. This is the foundation of long-term female desire. So here's what to do with everything you just learned. Don't try to fix all 5 at once. Pick the one that hit hardest, the one that made you uncomfortable, the one you'd rather not look at. That's the one. Start there. Give yourself 30 days. Watch what happens. Not just in the bedroom, but in every part of how she shows up in your relationship. Because what women actually want after 30 is not more skill or more effort in bed. It's a partner who finally sees the woman behind all the roles and treats her like she's worth the kind of attention she gives to everyone else in her life. What women actually want in bed after 30 is not technique, not novelty, not romance in the traditional sense. It is to be seen, to be safe, to be unhurried, to be anticipated, and to be free. When a man learns to give those 5 things consistently, every other part of intimacy takes care of itself. Most men never learn this. You now know better. If this video helped you understand something new, share it with someone. Your partner, a friend who's struggling, anyone. Subscribe for more honest, evidence-based conversations about intimacy and what it actually takes for long-term love to thrive. You're not too late. She's not too far gone. It is absolutely still possible. You just have to start where it actually matters.